Social media, a platform where teens connect, but also a platform that they use to disconnect from themselves. They lose themselves in hypersexualization, likes, comments, followers, and views, further distancing themselves from reality, from safety. In today's day and age, it is common for teens to go down the rabbit hole of self-sexualization because of the belief that they would have validation from peers. Teen girls will pose clad in bikinis, lingerie, short shorts, while teen boys are posing shirtless while biting their lip or touching their crotch region. Expressing sexuality is not a bad thing, but objectifying oneself is another. It risks teen safety because there are people in this world who seek to harm adolescents. Pedophilia has become more of an epidemic than it was in the past due to the fact that sexual predators have access to social media. They are known to save adolescents' photos, comment, like, DM, disguise themselves as a peer to get to know them, and in the end, those teens trust them. There's not just a physical impact by sexualization, but a mental one as well. Teens begin to believe that they have value if they sexualize themselves, and it all begins at a young age. Here's a video explaining how deeply rooted this issue truly is.
So what was really disturbing is that we found a lot of hypersexuality of the female characters in even television and movies aimed at little kids. For example, in G-rated animated films, the female characters wear the same amount of sexually revealing clothing as the female characters in R-rated movies, which is pretty horrifying. I mean, what are we putting that much sexuality and hypersexuality into things aimed at the littlest kids for? There was research that just came out that showed that girls as young as 6 years old have started to self-sexualize. In other words, they have started seeing themselves through the male gaze and realizing that they need to be sexy in order to be appreciated at 6 years old. And this is a very new development. We knew that women and teenage girls were doing that. So clearly, the culture is sending a very negative message to girls and to boys about girls when the female characters are constantly shown in this sexy light.
I want you guys to raise your hand if you ever felt judged by your looks. See? A lot have. Even if it's just one or two people that raise their hand, that is still too many. Since the creation of big media sites, people claim that platforms like YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and even a dead site like Vine were made to allow people to express themselves. Maybe back in 2005 when YouTube was created, it was true. YouTube was something pure and aided people in expression and using their voice. Unfortunately, that is not how it is today. Teen sexualization has slowly been introduced to our social media world. YouTube and TikTok were once platforms that the most creative and innovative got views, but now they push the most controversial and sexualized media to the forefront of people's feeds. Now I want you to raise your hand if you feel you have potential to do something great with your skills. Instead of feeling worthy due to the talent and the skill that someone has, people feel defined by their outward appearance. That is damaging to anyone's development, but especially teens and children. And there's even data collected by Children's National Medical Center stating that new eating disorders patients tended to be around age 15, but they come in as young as 5 or 6. Parents don't even notice it because they're not that involved with their children's social media lives. That is not to say that parents should automatically download every app their child has, but it's important for children and teens to be educated on internet safety. What is also important is for teens to educate themselves. Raise your hand if you believe you've been properly taught internet safety. Internet safety is protecting oneself from bodily and mental harm. What people fail to do is have separation from social media when it's damaging to their mental health. There is such a standard to fit in by posting the most luxurious photos or photos that make someone look like a socialite that there's been a disconnect with reality. If teens fail to protect themselves mentally, then how are they supposed to protect themselves physically? Predators go after the most fragile minds that need comfort, help. If there isn't a change, then predators will have a major platform and the normalization of teen sexualization will be complete. Please pay attention to the PSA on the screen and its message. In order for this to be a lasting effect, there needs to be also policy changes. Social media policymakers need to expand upon the policies already made. YouTube already begun a process where at a certain age they disable commentary, but the content is still the same. They're still being exposed to hypersexualization of different characters and influencers even with the restrictions now. The content needs to go under review as well as comments and direct messages. The only way that this issue will come to an end is by making these changes. Parents need to get involved as well as any person who has a major impact in a teen's or child's life. Policymakers need to address the many flaws in their systems. Predators need to be held more accountable for their disgusting actions. These changes will happen, even if it is one teen, one parent, and one policy at a time.